we're going to get started standing at the top of our mats. So let this be your opening meditation. Root your feet to the floor and just feel your feet on your mat. Check in with your body this morning and start to deepen your breath. Try not to stand in a stiff position whatsoever. Let there be a softness in your knees, a softness in the shoulder blades. And start to draw your breath down towards the bottom portion of your lungs, especially bottom back of your lungs. Good. We're going to start with a slow starting namaskar A. On your inhale, reach arms up overhead. Good. Tone your belly back as you exhale and fold. Maybe you take a deep bend in your knees here just for this first fold. Let your head hang all the way down. And on your inhale, lift up halfway, extend fingertips to shins or the floor. Good. Take a moment to drive your heels into the ground. Feel the hamstrings lift up and away. Don't force anything, right? First movements. Good. And then place your palms, and as you're ready, we'll step back to a plank pose. Good. Tuck your tailbone towards your heels, tone your belly in, hold your plank pose for a breath. Good. On your exhale, slowly lower chaturanga. Maybe all the way down to your belly. You choose. Okay, point your toes back and inhale, up bend. Good. Drag your hands towards hips, pull your sternum forward. On your exhale, downward facing dog. We'll stay 3 to 5 breaths. You can move around in your down dog if you like. Sometimes I just like to come and hold my pose pretty static. I'll send my breath all throughout my body. And just notice the subtle ways my body changes without wiggling it around. Take one more breath. Okay, you can step to the front of your mat, walk, run, jump. Okay, on your inhale, lift up halfway. Okay, on your exhale, fold. Okay, in breath, arms all the way to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Hands to heart, exhale, take one breath. Inhale, reach your arms up. Good. Exhale, take a fold. Maybe a little deeper this time, maybe touching the floor, maybe rounding your forehead in towards your shins. On your inhale, extend halfway lift. Okay, step or jump back to your plank pose. Tone your belly, tailbone towards heels. As you exhale, lower chaturanga. Okay, inhale, upward facing dog. Good. As you exhale, round over toes, down dog. Okay, for this one, we're going to lift our right leg up and back, open your knee. Keep your outer left thigh pinning back, split your legs, so inner left heel down, inner right knee way up. Good, set right foot down, left leg, open up. Okay, outer right hip turning towards the back of your mat. Inner left knee up. Good. Replace 2 feet to the floor. Bend your knees. Walk, runner, jump, top of your mat. Halfway lift. Good. Fold on your exhale. Okay, arms to sky on your inhale. Reach. Hands to heart as you exhale. Okay, start your B with variations. Bend your knees. Sweep the floor with your fingertips, and on your inhale, reach up. Let your knees bend a little more forward here and feel a stretch through the calves and Achilles. Tone your belly and tailbone down. On your exhale, fold. Okay, lift up halfway, inhale. Okay, and then make your way through your vinyasa. We'll meet in down dog. Lower to your belly or to hover. Inhale to an up bend. As you exhale, right leg lifts up and back, and then step that foot through top of your mat. Root your left heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Okay, it's okay to let the hips be slightly asymmetrical. The upper body, torso turns forward. Drive your back heel and outer edge of that foot into the ground. Good. Reach your left arm forward. Touch the floor and take your right arm to the sky. So pretty intense twist. Tuck the left hip straight behind tuck your right hip straight behind your right knee. One more breath. Good. On your exhale, touch down. Okay. Send this right leg straight up and back again. Okay, and then exhale, bring that shin forward. We're going to take an early pigeon. Okay, walk that right shin towards the front of your mat. Stretch left leg back. Just a little warm up into our hip. As you exhale, we're going to lower. We're not going to stay long, but we're just going to wake up the hip into this kind of pigeon position for today's class. Okay, draw your hands in, place palms down. Send that right leg up and back. Good, and place your foot to the floor. On an inhale, forward to plank pose. Okay, tone the belly, again, Vinyasa, Chaturanga. Inhale to a cobra or upward facing dog. Take a breath. Good, on your exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg up and back right away. Step that foot through top of your mat. Root your back heel down. Okay, as you inhale, reach the arms up, warrior one. Let your hips be slightly asymmetrical, but turn the torso forward. Good, pull in and up from the pelvic floor. In yoga, we call that Mula Bandha. So there's this energetic lift through the center line of the body. Okay, reach your right arm forward. Okay, take right fingertips to the floor, and then twist left arm to the sky. Really tuck your left glute underneath you. Best you can, left hip straight back of your left knee. Hug your inner thighs towards center here. Move your breath to deepen your twist. Try to keep that right heel on the ground if you can. As you exhale, touch down. Okay, send that left leg straight up and back. Inhale. Exhale, bring left shin forward. Okay, early pigeon poses. Okay, you can lay down in your pigeon pose if you want. Otherwise, just work this hip how it feels good this morning. We're just getting warmed up. So this doesn't have to be your deepest pigeon ever. You're just opening into this rotation of the hip to start. We're going to work with this again later a little bit. Nice. As you're ready, place hands to the ground. Okay, like Chaturanga, arms press down through the hands, lift the hips up, send that left leg up and back. Okay, replace 2 feet to the floor, down dog, lengthening the spine, lengthening the backs of the legs. Good, and we're going to inhale forward to a plank pose. Okay, lower down to your forearms. You could place your forearms shoulder width apart, or you could place your forearms so the palms come together. Okay, that's always my choice. Good, reach your tailbone towards your heels. Okay, push through your elbows. Now lean into your right elbow Turn your hips as little as possible to reach your left arm up to the sky. Bring your left arm down, elbow to the floor, root down there, tone your belly, keep your hips as parallel to the floor as you can, okay, but lift your right arm. Good, really press into the left elbow, lift the body up and away from the ground. Good, turn back to the elbows. Okay, now roll onto the elbow and outer right edge of your foot. Okay, so forearm plank pose. I'll turn my fingertips more towards the left side of my yoga mat here so they're not pointing forward, better for that shoulder rotation. Take one more breath. Good, turn it back to the floor. Okay, keep your belly toned, hips low. Roll over to your left elbow, outer edge of your left foot, lift the hips up. Take your right arm to the sky, forearm side plank. Okay, lift the hips up and away from the ground. We're firing up through the side belly on the left for 3, 2, are you warm yet? 1, good, come on down. Child's pose, reach your arms back. Okay, back up, down dog as you're ready. Okay, from your downward facing dog, we're gonna float through or step forward to sit down. Once you're seated, come all the way down to lie on your back. Pull your knees into your chest. Good. Reach your legs straight forward and push your heels into the floor. Okay, now see, can you reach your arms straight up? And then engage your belly. Can you pick yourself right up off the ground? Okay, so like Frankenstein, maybe sitting up. Okay, and then tuck your tailbone under and see if you can slowly lower back down to the floor. Okay, if you're at home, and well, we're all at home, if this is hard, you could tuck your toes underneath your couch perhaps. And then your toes have something to pull up on if you're unable to lift yourself just with your strength alone. So that's my assisted version of these roll-ups. Okay, we're gonna do 3 more. So 1 vertebrae at a time. Try to pick yourself up off the ground. Keep your heels on the floor, lift. Okay, again, tuck your tailbone under, 1 vertebrae at a time. Lower down, so slow. Okay, 2 more, slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time. Come up off the floor. Good, 1 vertebrae at a time, set yourself down. See if for this last one, can you exhale as we come up? Keep your heels low. Okay, inhale as you go down. Now listen, as you're going down, okay, find the hardest spot for you. Okay, so mine's right here, pause, hold. Okay, and then see, at that hardest spot, can you lift up and down like 2 inches? Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. 3 more, up. I love you all. 2, 3. Okay, all the way to the floor. Take a rest, take a breath. Good, if you're sweating, enjoy that sweat, enjoy the heat in the body. We're warming up. Okay, we're gonna bend the knees. Interlace your fingers behind your head, lift up. Okay, extend your legs forward, maybe 45 or 60 degrees. Okay, slowly lower your right foot almost to the floor and lift for 1. Okay, same side, 2. Right leg lower and up for 3. Keep your low back pressing to the floor. 4. Okay, and 5. Good, then engage that right knee towards your chest. Extend your left leg out and reach out to the side of your right leg. So my left arm is outside of the right knee. Now lift your right shoulder blade up off the floor for 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees into your chest. You can take any little hip movements or wiggles here you might like. Okay, other side. Take your legs up. Hands behind your head. Interlace your fingers by your head, engage your belly, and then lift your head up. Okay, feet about 45 degrees from the ground, maybe 60, somewhere in here that feels good. Make sure your low back is pushing into the ground. Hold. Okay, lower your left leg as low as it's comfortable for you for 1. Up. 2. Good. 3. Keep your low back on the floor the whole time. That's really what makes it hard. 4. Okay, press the low spine down for 5 and up. Pull your left knee towards your chest. Extend your right leg a little more and then cross your right arm across your body. Good. Now, can you lift your left shoulder blade off the ground for 3, 2, 1. Knees to chest. Big breath in. Little rest. Okay, so we're going to meet up in downward facing dog. You can come there however you like. I'm going to take a little roll back towards a plow. I'm going to rock forward, cross my ankles. Good, and jump back towards a down dog. Reconnect with your ujjayi breathing. So chin to chest, gazing at the thighs. Good. Really start to move your breath. Push the inner edges of your palms down. So pointer finger side, thumb side press. And then wrap your triceps towards the floor. Elbow creases or biceps forward. Breathe. Okay, on an inhale, lift your right leg. On your exhale, step your right foot all the way through and forward. Root your back heel to the floor, and we're coming up to stand. So 2 straight legs, 2 straight arms. Tone your belly here as we exhale, triangle pose. So lean in, maybe you have a block if you want to use, maybe fingertips to the floor. Your left arm's going to go up. So we're looking at opening up through the right adductor. Root the ball of your right foot into the floor, and then externally rotate your right thigh, so the knee and the thigh point forward. Okay, press into the back heel and feel your right inner thigh widening open. Good, now we're going to bend right knee. Bend your right knee straight over the ankle. Okay, really tone the belly in and tuck your tailbone towards your back heel. Float your right arm up and straight forward. Okay, pull your right heel towards your left. And then maybe even, if the core strength is there, extend both arms overhead. Okay, tone the belly in, maybe even rotate your chest slightly more upward for 3, 2, 1. Come on up to stand, open up. Parallel your toes on your mat, toes pointing forward. Catch your hips here. Good. Root the inner thighs back while tucking your tailbone down. Draw the belly in, lift your heart. And as you exhale, we're folding Prasarita Padottanasana. So symmetrical forward fold. Take your hands to the ground, maybe to a block. Place your palms on the floor, fingertips pointing forward. Okay, push your palms down and feel like they're pressing forward. They won't move because of your sticky mat. But as you push the palms down and push them forward, it should draw your spine or your torso more inside the legs. One more breath. Okay, on an inhale, we're lifting up, hands underneath the chest. Okay, now we're gonna bend our right knee and lean over for Skandasana. You can stay up in a higher lunge. If the flexibility in the knee, hip, and ankle is there to drop into a low squat for Skandasana, go ahead. Hands could touch the floor. Hands could come to heart. Okay, you could even reach the left arm up and over. Okay, so pressing down out of here, we're gonna lift back up. Turn towards that right foot lunge, top of your mat. Okay, step it back, Vinyasa. Catch your breath, big inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Quiet the mind and just feel that pumping of the breath. Sweet inhales. Sweet exhales. Okay. Bend your knees. You can walk, run, or jump. Top of your mat. Halfway lift. Good. Uttanasana. On an inhale, reach up. Hands to heart as you exhale. Nice. So I'll turn towards you for this one. We're going to root down into the left foot. Okay, lift your right knee. Okay, plenty of you maybe reaching for your right toe. Okay, so either the knee or binding the toe or your foot. Good, extend. See if you can plug that right femur bone into the hip socket. Hug your left inner thigh towards the midline. Okay, steady gazing point in front of you, and as you're ready, you can open that right leg to the side. Let the back of your right glute tuck underneath you, tailbone tucking towards the floor. If you want, you can look out to the left. If you want, you could extend your left arm to the left. Good. Bring your left hand to hip. We're going to turn this right foot back to center. Okay, I'm turned the opposite way on my mat, but you're going to release this foot. Step your right foot back of your mat. Okay, and then downward facing dog. Okay, right away from here, take your right leg. So again, working the right side up and back. If it feels good to you here to drop your right foot over, we'll take a wild thing. Really press your left arm down. Okay, we're lifting up and out of the left shoulder. Tuck your tailbone towards the knees. Tone your belly. Good. Back to downward facing dog. Okay, take 2 breaths in your down dog. On an inhale, lift your left leg. And step your left foot all the way through top of your yoga mat. Right heel down into the floor. Stand up. 2 straight arms, 2 straight legs. Good. We're going to lean into this left leg. Left fingertips to the shin, a block, or the floor. Good. And extend your top arm to the sky. Okay, press the ball of your left foot into the ground a lot, and then externally rotate your left thigh. So that means point your knee forward. Point the mid-seam of your left thigh more forward. Breathe. If there's tension in your top hand, try to soften it. Good. We're going to bend our left knee, come on up. Okay, press that back heel to the floor. Float your left arm so the body's leaned at an angle, kind of matching the back leg. I'm going to reach that left arm out. Tuck tailbone towards the back heel, and if the core strength is there, reach both arms overhead. Breathe. Activate your core muscles to rotate your chest more towards the sky. Hug your left heel towards your right. Take one more breath. Good. On an inhale, we come on up. Okay, parallel your feet forward. Open the arms out to the sides. Point your palms down. Okay. We're going to interlace hands behind the back here. Stretch your knuckles towards the floor. Okay, lift the heart up here while you pin the inner thighs back. As we exhale, we'll fold. So the knuckles come up and overhead here. Let your knuckles reach away from the shoulder blades. And while we stretch here, can you feel the shoulder blades broaden on your back? Mostly we just squeeze them together, but see if you can actually broaden the upper arm bones away from one another while you fold. One more breath. Great. Start to lift up. Release your hands. Halfway lift up and out of that. Okay, we're going to bend our left knee, Skandasana. So again, you can stay high up. You can use your hands. If any knee issues, you don't need to bend to this full squat. Okay, if the knee and the heel, the ankle, everything's comfortable, you can bend into a deep squat for Skandasana. Hands to prayer. Find your breath. How are we doing out there? You might even reach your right arm up to the sky. Good. Bring your hands back down to the floor. Press up. We're turning forward into a left foot lunge. Okay, place your palms and then step that left foot back. Okay, take one breath here. Big inhale, big exhale. Drive down through your heels. Bend your knees, walk, run or jump top of your mat, and then halfway lift. Okay, biggest Uttanasana yet, maybe grabbing the Achilles, grabbing your calves. Take a deep fold. Root through your feet, tone your belly to come up, inhale. Good, hands to your heart as you exhale. I'll do this facing you again. Okay. Root your right foot down, hug your right inner thigh towards center. Okay, float your left knee. Either hold the knee, or if you'd rather, grab your toe. Okay, so really drive the inner right leg into the floor. From your pelvic floor, lift up through the crown of your head. Extend your left leg. Let the outer left hip drop down towards the floor. Feel your inner thighs kind of scissor towards the midline. One more breath here. Okay, open your leg to the side as you're ready. So try not to counterbalance. Don't let that right hip cock out to the right side. Hug it underneath your hip. Grow an inch through the top of your head. Okay, if this feels good, extend your right arm, maybe even look out to the right. Okay, bring your leg into center. Bend your knee. I'm going to turn. We're going to step that left foot back. Okay, lunge to the back of your mat. Place your hands downward facing dog. Round your spine like a wave forward towards plank pose. Okay, lower. Oh, okay, we need to do wild thing pose. Okay, here we are, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg. Good, bend your knee. And then start to turn this foot over. Good. Root into the right arm, lift up and out of the right shoulder. Tuck your tailbone towards your knees. Good. Good. Tone the belly for a wild thing. Good. And then turn it back, downward facing dog. You can tuck your chin in towards your chest, look between the thighs. You guys need a child's pose rest. Okay, drop your knees to the floor. Take a breath. And just notice how you feel. I woke up this morning just feeling really tight. I think I've been working out a lot since being cooped up in the house, doing little videos, running the hill by my house, and I've been sore. So I felt like this was going to be too much this morning, but as I've started to move my body and warm up, I feel pretty good. So notice, how do you feel? Notice how it feels to have heated up the body, to get the muscles moving, oxygenated. Okay, let's come on up. Okay, so we'll take a plank pose, so preparing for that shoulders over wrists. Tone the belly, lift your knees. So now we're going to roll over. We did a forearm plank earlier. We're going to roll over for a full side plank. Good. Really engage the right side belly muscles, pick them up away from the ground. Feel free to hold here. Okay, stay with this. If you want to do more, lift your top leg. Then, with top leg lifted, pull your knee towards your chest. Try to rotate towards the ground. Open that knee back up, extend your leg. Bend your knee, rotate chest towards the floor. Turn open. Kick that leg up one more time. Bend your knee. This time, see, can you step that foot up, top of your mat towards a lunge? Lift that back heel up off the floor. Settle yourself in a runner's lunge. I'll wait for you to get here. Catch your breath. Good. Come on up. Arms overhead, so a full or high lunge. Good. Tuck your tailbone towards the floor. Tone the low belly in. Okay, here, hands to heart. I'm going to lean way forward. I'm going to shift my center of gravity forward so I can take a step from this wide position into my left leg. Lift your right. Turn your right hip towards the floor. 3 times I'm going to lower, bend the knee. So I'm going to hovering my warrior 3 a little lower and then extend. Again, bend, extend. Okay, bend. Extend. Bring the right knee through. Okay, forward. Pull that left knee up towards the chest. Good. Place 2 feet on the ground. Inhale the arms up. Okay, as we exhale, take a fold. I'm going to turn around so I can keep facing you. From your folded position, you're going to walk your feet back into a plank. Okay, so if that was confusing, we're going to meet up in a plank pose. Roll over to your left side. Outer edge of left foot, left hand. Tone the belly, lift your hips high. Okay, so stay here, or more from here, up to you. We'll lift the top foot. Bend the knee towards the chest. Turn your knee towards the floor. Open the hip up, kick. Bend, turn your knee towards the floor. Okay, open it up, kick. One more, bend the knee towards the floor. This time, can you step that foot top of your mat? Square off your hips, lift the left heel. On your inhale, arms come up, high lunge. Let your tailbone tuck a lot. Reach through the back heel, lift your fingertips. Can you lift your fingertips without lifting your shoulders? Okay, from here, hands to heart. Okay, I'm going to lean forward and really shift my center of gravity forward. Step into the right foot. Maybe you fall over. Okay, hands to prayer, back heel lifted. Turn the left hip towards the floor. 3 times, we're going to lower our warrior 3, bend. Okay, fire up that right leg, press. Exhale, bend. Good, inhale, press. Exhale, bend. Inhale, press. Draw your left knee forward and through to center. You can pull the left knee up into the chest. Place that left foot to the floor. Good. Take a couple breaths here. Just take a comfortable standing pose, Samastitihi, equal weight in your right and left foot. Let your body start to settle out. We've been working pretty hard. Relax your shoulders, soften behind the knees. Breathe between your shoulder blades on your back body. Relax your shoulders. Okay, let's take one more standing sequence. Yay, right? Okay, so I'm going to root down into my right leg. Maybe I'll do this facing you. I'm going to lift my left foot, and I'm going to flex the toes to the shin, and I'm going to sit down for a figure 4 chair pose. Okay, I'm going to turn back to forward on my mat. I'm sorry, you might want to have a block handy. We're going to move to some other poses after this. I'm going to use my block for them. Okay, so I apologize if you had to come out and grab a block. Okay, so coming back, take your left ankle to right knee, flex your toes to the shin, okay, and then find your figure 4. Hug your right inner thigh towards the midline. Here you can sit as low as you're able. Some of you will be able to put your elbows on your shin. Okay, from here, I'm going to use my block to twist. So I'm going to place my left hand on that block, and I'm going to turn my chest open to the right, extend my right arm. Good, sit a little lower, take one more breath. Good, and then come through center. Okay, I'm going to grab that same block if you're using one with my right hand. Now, I'm going to send my left leg back. Okay, Ardha Chandrasana. Okay, so this is a stabilized by the inner thighs. Engage the right inner thigh towards center and fire up the back inner thigh to lift the leg. You're also firing the outer glute on that back leg. You can extend your top arm to the sky, half moon pose. Extend from your back heel to the crown of your head. Make sure you're breathing. Okay, so gracefully set your left foot down to a lunge. Nice. Okay, as I place that back foot down, I'm going to let the heel come towards the floor. Now lift my right toes towards the shin. I'm going to fold over that right side for a version of pyramid pose. And rock forward into the right foot. Okay, and then I'm going to step my back foot up again. I'm going to walk my toes back. Okay, so I'm going to bring the inner edges of my feet together and I'm going to squat. Okay. Knees are going to go wide. I'm going to place my palms to the floor like chaturanga. Okay, root arms to the ground, and then I'm going to press into my toes and lift my hips up. So shift forward into the hands. This might be as far as you go. Fire up your pelvic floor and your low belly, And draw your inner thighs towards center. And if that's all going good, maybe your feet can lift up for Bakasana. Crow pose. Stay for another breath or two. Okay, from here you might jump your legs back. We'll shift that towards a downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to walk our way up, top of our mat. Roll up to stand. You might put your hand on your heart while we rest here for a moment. See if you can soften just about every muscle in your body. So imagine like we were in child's pose. You might wish that we were. Let everything soften here for a moment. I like to reset with just these standing poses. And we're going to do the other side. I'm going to take my block with me. Okay, I'm going to set that in front of my mat. And we're going to come back to a figure 4 chair pose. Right ankle, left knee. Flex your right toes towards your shin and sit low. Okay, see if you can keep the sternum bone lifting up. Scoop your tailbone towards the floor. Okay, so this is like a pigeon pose, but we're standing. You can take your right hand to the block in front of you, and then reach your left arm up to the sky. Okay, so it twists. Sit a little bit lower. Good, and then turn towards the floor. So coming out of that, I'm going to switch the block to my left hand. I'm going to unplug my right leg from the hip, and I'm going to send it back, half moon pose. Again, it's an inner thigh pose. Fire up the inner thighs, left leg hugging towards center. Right inner thigh fired up and strong behind. Extend from your heel to the crown of your head. From here, I'm going to turn my right hip towards the floor. Step that foot all the way back. Place your hands to the ground. And then spin your right heel slightly inward towards the midline. Turn your hips forward. I'm going to lift my left toes for this variation of pyramid pose. Open the left side body to the left as we fold. Okay, so then this time, for this pose, I'm going to place my left foot to the floor, and I'm going to walk that left foot to the right. Okay, and now we'll sit down to a true pigeon. Okay, take a moment before you fold here to lift up through the spine, tuck the tailbone, and then we're going to fold it all the way down to the ground. Right, you're probably so grateful to be bringing it down at this point, to be softening in. And as we rest here in pigeon pose, can you feel like you're lengthening your spine forward out of your waist? And then once you've done that, soften into the leg or the floor a little deeper. Slowly I'm going to come up and out. Okay. If you'd like, and again, just optional, I'm going to reach for that back foot. I'm just going to take this as a quad stretch this morning. I'm going to flare my toes into my hand and draw that heel towards my glute. All the while, squeezing my knees towards one another, hovering the hips up. If there's some other version of this pose you want to take, a mermaid or some kind of a back bend, feel free. I'm just going to use it as a quad opener, another breath. Good. Once you're done there, release the leg and step it back into downward facing dog. Good. Feel free in your down dog to wiggle out the hips. Feel free to move around in your down dog any way that you need to or that feels good. Good. When you're ready, we'll lift right leg up and back. And then step your right shin forward and through to a pigeon. Allow yourself to settle in here. Once the hips are parallel over the floor, then see if you can lengthen your spine forward more. And with that length, fold into the ground. Allow your breaths to start to deepen and relax now. And as you're ready, we'll start to lift up. I'm going to grab that back foot and I'm going to pull my heel in. Okay, so if any other version of this pose feels good, you could even just lift up, tuck the tailbone to open the left psoas. I'm going to pull my heel in. If you wanted to take variations like mermaid or other kinds of back bends from here that you know, go ahead. Hug your knees towards center. So watch as I do that and pull my knees in. My hips really float up off the ground. As you're ready, release that leg. Let's pull this back towards a down dog. Last one. Good. I'm going to drop knees to the floor. Okay. So we have maybe 9 minutes left before Instagram Live kicks me off at that hour mark. Okay. So I want to offer a headstand here. So Shirshasana 1. Okay. Again, you're practicing at home. Do this if you know you're safe. Use a wall if you need to. Okay. If you don't want to practice a headstand right now, come to child's pose a couple breaths. And then after child's pose, we'll all meet up on our backs. Okay. I'm going to take my hands interlace, and again, this is an intermediate to advanced class, so just offering headstand if you're familiar. Of course, I'm not there to spot you, but I know plenty of you taking this class. This will be an easy finishing pose. You could also take a shoulder stand here. So other options being child's pose, lying on your back. We'll get into a twist in a second. Or maybe you'd like a shoulder stand or a plow. Keep the pelvic floor active in this pose. If you're in headstand, shrug the shoulders away from the ears. The low belly should be toned. Inseams of the legs zipping together to reach upward. Okay, if you're up in headstand, you can slowly start to make your way down to the floor. If you were in a headstand, please walk back and take a child's pose here for a couple of breaths. We come into child's pose after a headstand to let our blood pressure normalize. So instead of lifting the head right up and getting dizzy, we leave the head down while the hips now are also down. And we spend a little bit of time letting our blood recirculate through the body. As you're ready from here, we'll come on up. If you're not already on your back, let's come to lie down. Okay, on your back, you can draw your right knee into your chest, or if you'd rather, if you have a strap, you could strap your foot. If you can reach your toe or your foot, you might grab it. Just let yourself know that we're on the ground now. Good job making it through that practice. I hope you enjoyed. Okay, and now just enjoy this more restful moments of the class. Okay, so hamstring stretch. I'm going to take my left hand now to my right foot. I'm going to place my left hand on the outer edge of my foot. Again, maybe you're just bending the knee. I'm going to take right leg to the left for a twist. I usually adjust my left hip so it's right underneath me. I'm going to stretch my right arm out to the side. Okay, if your neck needs a little release from headstand, you can look out to the right. Let your exhales be longer than your inhales. Good. Next breath, bring that right leg up. Let your right leg rest. Okay. Left leg will come up. You can either hug your knee to your chest or fully extend that leg. We'll take a few moments enjoying a hamstring stretch. Press your heel to the sky. Let your outer left hip turn towards the front of your yoga mat. Good. Reach up for that foot. Grab your left foot with your right hand or with your bent left knee. Bring your knee or your straight leg across the body. Breathe. Enjoy, right? This is where we relax. This is where maybe a little smile on our face, happy we practiced some yoga this morning, even just happy to connect to our community digitally. I'm so happy every morning I get to see you guys on here. Good. Bring that left leg back up to center. Stretch your left leg out on the floor. You might want to take the soles of your feet together, widen your knees out for a Supta Baddha Konasana. If you'd like to reach your arms out to the sides or any position. So this is my last pose I'm going to offer before Shavasana. If you want to do a little more than this, of course, feel free to do more. Okay, so spend some time in Supta Baddha Konasana. After that, please spend a long time in Shavasana, wherever you got to go. I hope that you can spend a long time. Okay, drink a lot of water after this practice today. Thanks again for coming. Our next class on IG Live is going to be Sunday, 9 a.m. That'll be a beginner-friendly, all-level class. If you want to drop a donation to Venmo, it's at Soul Shape Yoga. That's not required. I please encourage you to take the classes for free if that suits your financial situation better right now. Just super happy to be here and sharing with you guys.
Again, a whole bunch of classes up on YouTube. Feel free to check those out. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. Don't forget to like and subscribe. More videos coming out on YouTube every week. Have a happy Friday. Have a good weekend. Thanks again so much. Aloha and namaste.